Can I welcome all members and officers of this licensing meeting 2003 Subcommittee A, which has been convened as a hybrid meeting. The meeting is being recorded and will be available via the Council's website to be viewed as soon as possible following the meeting. The meeting agenda pack can also be viewed on the Council's website. Everyone participating in the meeting will be attending either in the Council chamber or from remote locations. Participants attending remotely should keep their cameras on for the duration of the meeting. All attendees should keep their microphones off, however, until they're invited to speak. Attendees can indicate they wish to speak by pressing the hands up icon on the screen in front of them. I will now proceed to agenda business. Right, agenda item 1 is apologies for absence. I don't think we've got any. Agenda item 2 is declarations of interest. Nope. Right. Are they online now?
I don't think so, Chair, because we'll see them on the monitor when they're online, and we can let them in then.
I was introducing everyone there. Oh.
I admit? I can admit on mine.
Yeah, if you're happy for me to admit, I'll admit the one waiting in the lobby.
Just for the recording, we're just waiting for the applicant to join us.
ਬਾਹਰ ਬੈਠ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹਿਣਾ ਇੱਥੇ।
Just for everyone's information, we're waiting for the objector to join us online. Excuse me. We're going to adjourn the meeting for 10 minutes, just while we sort some things out. So can we please stop the recording, Mike? Thank you. Thank you. Could I ask all attendees to put their cameras on, please? Thank you. Right, thank you for joining us. I'm going to introduce everyone first so you know who's in front of you. My name is Councillor Maxine Lewis. I'm the chair of the Licensing Committee.
Councillor. Sorry, Councillor Joanna Llewellyn-Hopkins, member of the Licensing Committee.
And Councillor Jonathan Pratt.
Katie Wintle, Legal Officer.
Yvonne Witchell, Licensing Officer.
Sorry.
Now I'm doing it, sorry. I'm going to ask the licensing officer to read the report. Yvonne?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. As the Chair has indicated, I'm going to just briefly introduce the report and where we are in terms of the application. I'll then hand over to the applicant and the applicant's representative that I can see here. And then after that, the objector will have their opportunity to speak to the subcommittee. At the appropriate time, Chair, when the applicant and the objector come in, perhaps they would formally identify themselves for the meeting for you. But just to summarise then, and the applicant will obviously come in at the appropriate time to confirm that these details are correct. The purpose of this meeting this morning is to determine an application for the grant of a premises licence for VS Stores in Kenfig Hill, submitted by Sukhwinder Singh. In your bundle, there is a copy of the application form and plan attached as Appendix A, and the applicant requests the following licensable activity for the hours stated: the sale of alcohol for consumption off the premises, Monday to Sunday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. In accordance with the requirements of the Licensing Act 2003, copies of this application has been forwarded to the responsible authorities, and during the statutory 28-day consultation period, the application has been advertised in accordance with the regulations at the premises in a local newspaper and on the council's website. South Wales Police, one of the responsible authorities, and the applicant have reached an agreement on the imposition of an additional condition of licence should this application be granted. And at paragraph 3.3 of your report, we have included the proposed condition of licence, which relates to maintaining and operating a digital CCTV system at the premises. During the consultation period, representations have been received from another person as defined in the Licensing Act, and their representations are detailed in Appendix B. Just for the information of the objector, your details were redacted from the council report, which is on the website, but of course you can introduce yourself at the appropriate time for the councillors when you present your objection. Members, the rest of the report details the licensing objectives which must be considered promoted when considering this application. They're detailed at paragraph 3.7. Each objective is of equal importance and should be of paramount consideration at all times. Issues such as the need for new premises, traffic matters or parking are not within the remit of the licensing authority. The relevant paragraphs of the Council's Statement of Policy and the statutory guidance in relation to licensing are also set out within the report. The licensing team hasn't received any further information or updates from any of the parties, so the application is, as it stands, subject to that police condition which has been proposed. Other than that, Chair and members, I don't have anything to add to the report.
Thank you, Yvonne. Could I now ask the applicant to present their case, please?
Good morning, Chair. It's Melinda Kaur here, representing the client, Mr. Sukhwinder Singh, the applicant. I'd just like to start off by saying, as mentioned, for the hours applied for off-the premises alcohol retail at 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. These are entirely in line with the hours granted to similar stores across the borough. These are not late night hours, and the shop will not be encouraging loitering or congregation outside. Alcohol sales is just going to be a part of the broader retail offering that they already currently have at VS stores. Under paragraph 10.15, shops, stores and supermarkets should normally be free to provide sales of alcohol for consumption off the premises at any times when the retail outlet is open for shopping, unless there are good reasons based on the licensing objectives for restricting those hours. I like to base my representation today based on upholding the 4 licensing objectives which my applicant will be doing. The licensing decision must be based on evidence, not assumptions or speculation of potential of what could happen. It has been suggested that granting this license may lead to antisocial behaviour. However, currently there is no evidence linking this premises to such concerns. The shop has had no history of any complaints or nuisance. The applicant has had a clean record, and in turn, South Wales have not objected, which is one of the important responsible authorities. Furthermore, Mr. Singh, the applicant, has been working in off-licence retail since 2016, since he was granted a personal licence. He has held the role of a designated premises supervisor for the past 3 years, running his own shop in Cardiff without a single complaint. He has taken over VS stores 2 months ago, and since then the store has been operating smoothly with positive support from local residents, many of whom asked when alcohol sales may begin. The shop itself has had a long history. It has existed for over 40 years and again is part of the local community. Mr. Singh has proactively worked with South Wales Police to agree to a robust CCTV condition, which includes 31-day retention, full coverage of public areas, secure access and prompt availability to the police upon an lawful request. There have also been concerns regarding underage access to alcohol. Mr. Singh has confirmed he will implement the Challenge 25 policy, which is a national recognised approach to prevent underage sales. The staff will be trained, reviews will be recorded, and recording and training logs will be maintained. If I just go through with you the staff training manual, which I believe is also a condition on the licence, will be kept at the shop, at the premises. This will include various of posters, especially in regards to please leave quietly to prevent public nuisance. They'll have CCTV posters around. They'll also have Challenge 25 to enforce it put in place. Apart from that, they'll have incident logs, refusal logs to ensure everything is being complied with. Once again, this is off sales only license. There'll be no alcohol consumption on or around the premises to prevent public nuisance. The store will close at 10 p.m. I believe this is not a late night activity. There are stores around in the UK that close at 12. So it's not a late night, it's at 10. And once again, it's a small community convenience shop. Alcohol will not be the only selling point. It's been running already. It's just an addition to what they're already selling. Such as like if you're going to the grocery store to get a few bits, just picking up a bottle of wine, it's not going to be just to go and get alcohol. It's also been referred that there is no need for another off license in the area. However, it is important to note that need is not a valid consideration, as under paragraph 14.19, the guidance does not deal with the need for licensed premises. This is a matter for planning committees and for the market. The licensing authority must not take such consideration into account when determining the application. And also, Going further to the point that the premises are near homes, and we are aware that there is a nearby rehabilitation centre. However, this is not unusual, as already it has been mentioned, there are other convenience stores around selling alcohol in the similar locations, such as Morrison down the road. And granting this license it doesn't mean that now people will go to the shop, and if there are already shops there that sell alcohol and have a premises license for alcohol, and there haven't been any issues of people from these rehab centres going there and getting alcohol, why would another store create that problem then? This is just an assumption. There is no actual causal evidence that shows that this will happen. As noted in paragraph 8.41 of the guidance, issues such as demand, competition, or general community are not relevant and must be focused on the 4 licensing objectives. My applicant here ensures you that with the CCTV, with the conditions already proposed and from the South Wales Police, they are upholding the 4 licensing objectives. The applicant has offered clear, positive, and proportionate safeguards to promote these. Therefore, I'd request the subcommittee to grant the licence with the agreed conditions and allow Mr. Singh to serve the community responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You've actually answered my question with your training manual, so thank you very much for that. Councillors, do you have any questions? Yvonne, do you have anything?
No, Chair.
Does the objector have any questions they'd like to ask?
Thank you. No questions. There are a couple of comments I would like to make with regards to what was just said. I don't know whether you...
Right, can I just stop you there, please? You'll have a chance now to speak, okay? If there's no other questions now, we're going to hear what you have to say. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everybody. Obviously, you will have all read my objections to it. I know the representative has just said that the shop there has no history of antisocial behaviour with regards to alcohol. That's because in 40 years it's never had a licence. It's never needed one. It used to shut at 4 p.m. So there wouldn't have been an issue with that. Obviously, like they said, there's nothing I'm going to say about the need in the area. My biggest concern is the antisocial behaviour that it will bring. There is a bench 4 doors up from the shop where alcohol and substance users regularly convene because they live directly opposite. There is a difference to making a conscious decision to walk 10-15 minutes to go and get alcohol to it being on your doorstep and being a temptation. I think, you know, we have a duty of care for these people as well as the local residents. On this bench and the premises opposite, it causes fear among the local residents. I'm a local resident. They will gather there. They were seen there yesterday coming out of the shop with bags of different things, and they convene on that bench. Also, you've got the park behind where the other rehab centre is, and people do, you know, it's so much closer than them having to walk and make a decision there to go there and buy alcohol. There's also a thing on your report that says about obviously the agenda, and it's got item 5, well-being of future generations implications. Well, there is an implication because number 4 in that is a healthier Wales. If more alcohol is available, especially for people who have substance issues, then we aren't providing a healthier Wales for them. We're providing more temptation and more of a, you know, you can get up, get out, walk straight out the door. Within 10 seconds, you're at the door and you can buy alcohol readily. I know you've got other shops in the area, but I'm well aware in that area as well, some people don't go to those shops because they are well known. and having this on their doorstep would just be a temptation to me. The other thing, directly opposite VS stores, that you have the Talbot Institute, regularly used for children's groups, toddler groups. They have children's parties on the weekends. They rent it out privately. So it's regularly used by young families. I don't think that they should be, if I can think of the word, I don't think that they should be subject to maybe somebody coming out with a lot of alcohol, the same as the school being within a minute's walk, well, directly across the road, within a minute's walk of that. You know, there's an infant school. Like I said in my objection, there's a primary school as well, and they walk back and forth from the schools while they attend different events at the schools. Again, they are being subject to alcohol being in the area. And I know it's with the best intentions of the licensee applicant that people won't just come out of the door and open a can or open something, you know. But once they're off the premises, there is no control. They can do what they want. They can sit on the bench, they can sit at the bus stop on the corner. You know, I know that's nothing that we can control or the licensee applicant can control. However, if that temptation is there and you're right next to a school, you're in a, you know, an area where there are a lot of children, especially, you know, school times. I just feel 6 a.m. in the morning is quite excessive because you've got the school run there. Everyone parks there. Everyone's getting their children out of their cars. And I don't think it's the best place to have alcohol being sold. I think I basically covered everything that I in my objection. Apologies. Like I said, I think Bridgend Council has a duty of care to the people who do have issues that live directly opposite. And if anybody's in desperate need of a drink, then you have the Labour Club right there that they could go in and buy alcohol. Like I said, there's no history of antisocial behaviour regarding alcohol because that store has never held a licence in 40 years because it hasn't been required. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to my objections.
Thank you. Do any of the, I don't have any questions for you. Do any of the councillors?
I do. I'd like to ask that if anybody's aware.
Right. You mentioned the centre where people hold parties.
Not where they live. The facility where people live who've got their problems. In Cumfig. I want to ask a question regarding that.
Go on.
This question is basically to anybody who can answer it. So the facility at Glencumfig, from what the objector said, is a facility where people go that have got addictions, did you say? Are there no conditions on entrance to going into that facility that you can't have had alcohol or drugs to go in there? I mean, I don't know if anybody knows.
I can't give you a definitive answer to that. However, being a local resident, I do see people at the, they sit in, if they've got vehicles, they sit outside and they consume alcohol and then go in, which does cause issues. As a local resident, walking the dog, you see people and they are visibly intoxicated outside the premises, which obviously is an issue for people inside the premises who are trying to stay away from alcohol and other issues. Like I said, the other premises is private accommodation opposite the stores, where it holds, I think there's 4 or 6 flats, and they also have drug and alcohol issues there, but I'm not sure who runs that. And sorry, I can't give you a more definitive answer.
Okay, thank you.
No questions.
Right, so there's no other questions. So we now go for a closing statement. So the objector, if you just want to summarise your case.
Yes, just like I've said, obviously my concern is an increase in antisocial behaviour, especially with people who have issues regarding substance misuse, who live directly in that area that we are supposed to be trying to assist or help, especially the council with the rehab facility. And obviously my concern about the children in the area there, and it's so close to a school. It is literally so close to a school. And there will just, as the best intentions that the licensee applicant has, there will be issues where people will come out of the shop and open the alcohol and drink it there, because you can't stop that. Once they leave that premises, I'm afraid that will happen, as happens in every off license around the UK, I would have thought. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me.
Thank you very much. Would the applicant like to give their closing statement, please?
Thank you, Chair. So we'd like to again reiterate that the premises doesn't have a history of any complaints. Yes, there hasn't been any alcohol retail before, but again, we can't assume that with alcohol retail there will definitely be complaints and nuisance. South Wales Police have not objected. The conditions have been agreed to. I would also like to add on that this premises does lie outside a community of impact area, meaning there aren't any high concentrated same licensing activity premises in the area. Therefore, that can suggest that there is an issue in the area at the moment. If it was, then it could have been included in the area. We'd also like to say that if the issue of having access to alcohol to children in schools, the applicant has agreed that he's happy to change the timings to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the sale of alcohol, if that is something that, if the license was granted. Once again, I'd like to say the applicants had years of experience. They know how to deal with such things that happen at off-license shops. They have fully cooperated with the licensing objectives, the conditions, and therefore we'd request the subcommittee to grant the license with the agreed conditions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there's nothing else now, thank you very much for joining us. We will inform you within 5 working days of our decision. And we're just going to deliberate now. So thank you very much for joining us. You may leave the meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for Mike to stop the recording. Mike, can you stop the recording now, please?